So, as of today, I'm 25 days, 100% free from all medication. Apologies if it's too windy. There's not much I can do about that. I wanted to walk in this video because a few months ago, I couldn't do this. Like I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. For 8 years and 10 months, I took some kind of medication, psychiatric medication. Over the years, I tried sertraline, citalopram, Prozac. I spent a year on Prozac. I spent 2 years on sertraline. I spent 5 years on diazepam. I spent 2 years on pregabalin. I spent 2 or 3 years on mirtazapine. All at different times, sometimes together, like, you know, I think the most drugged I was, the most medicated I was on sertraline, pregabalin, and diazepam all at the same time. And it was difficult to do anything. I had no memory. I used to take the milk out of the fridge and I'd put it in the cupboard. And then I'd put things from the cupboard into the fridge that didn't belong there, because you just can't think. So you just do silly, dumb shit. I was like that for a while. I couldn't remember numbers for sure. Like, you asked me to remember a 4-digit number for more than like 10 seconds. I probably couldn't do it. But now, I could probably do it. Let's try it. 1352. Let's try and remember that in like 5 minutes. So I've come a long way. I was... Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on? There appears to be many military helicopters flying above me right now for no apparent reason. I have no idea why. If you know what those helicopters are, feel free to let me know. They look like Apaches or something. Holy shit. What the fuck is going on? Is it World War III already? Anyway. Jesus, that is loud. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Alright, well, it's all good. Anyway, so see, a few months ago, if I stood here and I heard that, it would be way too much. It'd be like too loud, too much stuff. And the lake as well. The lake would make it too difficult to even focus. Like, I'd be agoraphobic, I wouldn't be able to process all of that once. And so to be able to do what I just did, I wasn't expecting that, by the way. I had no idea what that is or what that's about. For all I know, Russia's just nuked us and that's why that's there. But the point is that I don't have the anxiety that I used to have. If this was a few months ago or even a few years ago, whatever, I'd be freaking out right now. Especially, like, that just added the icing on the cake. Like, a few years ago, I'd be freaking out. Like, I used to, you know, if a car was too loud, that would be like, you know, kind of, you know, I kind of found it difficult to deal with. When I first came off benzos, in the first few months I came off benzos, I remember, like, you know, sometimes you'd hear a car backfire or whatever. I'd be like, holy shit, like, you know, you'd kind of and you'd feel that kind of surge of anxiety and that surge of, you know, I don't know, it's difficult to describe unless you've actually come off diazepam or like benzos. Like, you're more sensitive to everything. When I used to watch TV, I have to be careful, like if there's loads of flashing lights, it could just make me spin out. And now it's not too bad. A few days ago I walked through the centre of town and I didn't find it too bad. Still difficult, but not too bad. And like, I'm not blaming it all on the drugs, but yeah, it's yeah, there's a lot of learning and work that I've had to put into it as well. So it's not all just coming off medications, it's more complicated than that. But the reason I made this video is because I'm 100% medication free for the first time in 8 years, 10 months maybe. What was that number I tried to memorize earlier? I believe it was 1352. So if that's correct, then you can see that my memory is so much better. So much better. And if I've got it wrong, then try not to use that as too much evidence against me. So made a lot of progress, and there's still so much to do, but I made a lot of progress. And so, as I say, the reason I made this video is because for the first time in 8 years I'm 100% off, and that is worth making a video about. It's the first time in over 8 years I woke up in the morning and I didn't take a pill. And it's been like that for 3 weeks now, and at first it's kind of weird, you know, when you don't take a pill when you wake up. But anyway, so basically the last drug, the final thing that I was on, because I quit mirtazapine 6 months ago, 7 or 8 months ago now, 7 maybe. So the final thing that I was on was I wasn't on a psych med anymore. I got off the antidepressants. I got off the last one of those like 6 months ago, and I got off the diazepam, the benzos, over 3 years ago. And the last final thing that I was on wasn't a psych med. It was just a beta blocker, but I wanted to get off it anyway because I didn't know. I'd been on it for so long. I've been on it for 8 years, and I didn't want to rely on it anymore. So I got off that. So now I'm 100% medication free. I don't take a single thing. There's nothing I take. And I just continue to fight to recover and fight to get the life that I had before, but better. I'm working on a better life. And so that's what I wanted to say. And another thing I wanted to say is that I've already had doctors try to push drugs on me. When I've been having heart palpitations. It's kind of expected, I guess. You know, you've been on propranolol for 8 years, because that was the one drug that I stayed on all that time, is propranolol. So I was on propranolol for 8 years, and so when I came off it, even though I came off it gradually, I've still been having like occasional heart palpitations. I'm not too worried, but I did my own tests with a personal EKG. And most of the results were normal, but one result wasn't. It detected potential AFib. After I've been walking, well, I did try jogging a little bit, so I'm probably unfit, and maybe that's why. But the problem is that I tried to get advice about it, and one of the things that I was told, well, I tried to get advice about it, and what happened was, I know that I need to get a more precise check. I I know that I need to get a more concise test. So I rang a new doctor that I'd never spoken before, a new surgery that I'd never been to. I waited weeks, and the very first phone call, they've never met me. The very first thing they tried to do, when I said that I had this device and it detected potential AFib, they tried to push drugs on me straight away. No questions about diet, exercise or anything, absolutely nothing. The very first thing they tried to do is push more drugs on me, the very same drugs that I have already quit and I spent months of my life, years of my life recovering from. So it's like, it's this as well, that's just another reason why I wanted to make this video. You have to be careful with these doctors. Not all of them are there for your healthcare. They just read a sheet of paper and they don't really listen to you, they don't really give a shit. They just read off a piece of paper and they think they don't really have a clue what they're doing. And people will say, well, what do you know? You haven't studied to be a doctor. It's like, you're right, I haven't, but I've lived the actual experience of being the patient, and the patient in some cases knows far more than the doctor might. Some of these doctors, especially in the UK, no offence, but they're kind of stupid. They don't really think straight, they'd rather just give you drugs. They wouldn't ask you about your diet. You could have a diet of fucking something ridiculous, you know? Your diet could literally just be poison every day. You could be ingesting actual poison every day and they wouldn't even know. They wouldn't care, they just give you more drugs, which is toxic in its own. And then you get worse and you wouldn't even know why. And this is happening to millions of people. This is happening to fucking millions of people. And it's like one of the fucking greatest fucking tragedies of our modern world. And the fact that even when you try to escape, like I have, even though my health has improved, my physical health has improved, my mental health is probably better. I mean, obviously it's fucking miles better. It's all better, but like, even though I'm not fully healed, they still try and push drugs on you. And it's absolutely fucking disastrous. So, but yeah, I'm 8 months off of mirtazapine. I'm 3 years off of diazepam. I'm 3 weeks off of propranolol. 100% medication free for the first time in 8 years. Over 8 years, almost 9 years. For the first time. And that's why I wanted to make this video. And it does feel good. Like, I don't feel good every day, but I feel better than I was. I feel far better than I was. And like, for the first time I sort of feel like I can almost live a normal life. There's a lot of stuff that I can't do, but I'm working on it. And a lot of it I think is sort of the work that I put in. I do yoga every day. I walk every day. I force myself to walk even when I don't want to. And a lot of it, I think, the whole recovery thing, a lot of it, I've said this before, but it's not necessarily about the time that you've been off something, but about how long you can, what you do during that time. And so, yeah, it's been a lot of work. And I had to relearn a lot of things. A few months ago, I wouldn't look at the sky because it would make me too dizzy. And I'd be extremely dizzy when I looked at the sky, or leant my head up like that, and I tried to look at the sky. I couldn't do that. Well, I probably could, but it would make me really dizzy, it would make me really anxious. And I couldn't do it. As you've just seen, I just stood outside and like, you know, I'm walking around. I couldn't do this a few months ago. I feel like yoga has helped a bit with that. And I never in a million, like a few months ago, there's no way that I could have looked up at the sky with like loud noises and and it seems like such a basic thing if you've never actually been in the kind of withdrawal state. Like, if you've never been in a withdrawal, you're kind of thinking like, well, oh, well, what do you mean? Like, that's normal. Like, what are you talking about? But when you've been in that kind of withdrawal state, everything is kind of more sensitive, and you're kind of, everything will set you off. Everything can become more difficult. And I still struggle with some things. I still have like this shortness of breath that I struggle with. Sometimes it's harder to get my breath, or maybe I'm more conscious of it, I don't know. When you spent years on benzos, it kind of relaxes your breathing, and then when you come off, it's like kind of more difficult to breathe or something, I don't know. That's my experience so far. So I kind of still struggle with the breathing part. It could be the propranolol as well, I don't know. Or it could be just dumb shit I've done in the past. Too many bong rips or something. But the point is, is that yeah, you can make some recovery. And I'm walking around for 20 minutes now. So yeah, I'm kind of pleased with like the progress I've made now. Like, I'm slowly getting more pleased with being able to do what I'm doing, because I couldn't always do this. Anyway, this video has gone on way longer than I wanted it to. It's only supposed to be short, so I'm gonna end it here. But yeah, if you have any questions about recovery, feel free to ask. I'm still working on mine, as I say, it's a work in progress. But I'm just happy to be 100% free for the first time in 8 years, 9 years. Being able to look at the sky without getting dizzy. And tolerate loud noises without having to shut off my ears and stuff. Or panicking. I don't even care about that loud noise anymore. It's brilliant, I love it. I never thought it's crazy. Anyway, I'm just making this video even longer than I meant to. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Alright, anyway, see you soon.